And welcome back to the DIY van build, my peeps. This week we get to start with the framing inside the van. And I gotta say, working with all this aluminum framing really reminded me back when I was a kid playing with our Meccano sets. Well, when I was a kid they actually called it an Erector set, and then they changed the name to Meccano set because, well, from experience I know when I'd ask my friends to come over and play with my Erector set, it didn't get the right response, let's put it that way. So without further ado, let's show you the product we're working with. So this product is called an Extruded Aluminum. The brand name is 8020 and it's a 15 series, meaning it's 1.5 by 1.5 square. The exact same size as a 2x2 piece of wood that you would buy from the store would be. But this is A, lot stronger, and B, a lot lighter. Now I've decided on this material because of the fact that I've owned a lot of RVs in my past, tent trailers, so on and so forth. They're all made of 2x2 wood, really thin plywood for the sheetings, and I'm telling you, if you go down gravel roads with a newer trailer, the stupid things fall apart within days after buying them. The freaking cabinets are falling off the walls, curtains are falling off the walls because it just pops right out of that cheap little wood they use. So we're going with the aluminum framing, which should really add to the structural rigidity of the van, and well, I don't ever have to worry about it backing out. Now to join our 8020 or extruded aluminum together, we purchased a few brackets from the same company, 8020. So we have these small L brackets with 2 bolts. We have these larger L brackets that have 4 bolts, and then to bolt into the extruded aluminum, we have 2 different type of mounts on there. So we have these black little slide inserts that you'll see just slide right into the end of the extruded aluminum, or if we've already got it assembled and we can't slide a piece in through that end, then we take these roll nuts that we purchased, and you'll see here that we can just roll them into that slot and push them down in, and now it gives us a mounting point again in which we can bolt anything we want to our extruded aluminum. It makes it really easy to assemble, and the other positive side is as we're putting it into the back of this van, we can move things around and retighten them down to the exact way we want it without having multiple screws in our wood like you would if you're using wood framing. Does that make sense? The other positive side is the tools for this are very minimal. You need an Allen key that's gonna fit the end of that bolt just to tighten these down. You're gonna need a miter saw, and I guess a skill saw would probably work as well, or even a jigsaw. But you are gonna want the special blade on there, which we got this Diablo 10-inch blade, which is made specifically for the extruded aluminum. As you can see, there's a picture of extruded aluminum right on the packaging even. But without further ado, let's show you what we're doing in the van. So our goal for today is to get all this rail laid across our floor around all of our components, like our water tanks, our shower, our toilet, which is going to give you a really good idea as to what this whole floor plan is going to look like. So I'm going to put our shower tank in. I'm going to put our freshwater tank for our drinking water in. Then I'll put the toilet in the spot it needs to go, as well as the shower pan. And then we're ready to start building our framing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 12-foot extruded aluminum pieces and we're going to bring them over one at a time to the saw, and we're going to chop them down into the designated sizes that I know that we need for our build. Now I'm not going to share the exact cuts and sizes because it's going to be different for your build than it is for mine, but I will show you here once I get it all cut in that it starts looking like this. I've built up the aluminum framing around the water tanks we put in. I've got a piece down over by where our bathroom's going to be. It's all the way run all the way up towards where our side sliding door is going to be. Now before we go too much further though, I want to make sure that I can mount this down to the floor properly and have a solid base to our framing. So if you remember when we put this floor in, we cut out all the factory D-ring holes that bolt right into the frame of the van underneath. There's 12 of these holes in total, and I feel if I can mount all of our framing down across the floor to these spots, we're gonna have a very solid base to work with on the framing of our cabinets. But with these D-ring holes, because we have that styrofoam underneath, we can't just bolt right down through to the ground and expect it to hold, because it will actually compress the floors and won't really hold it tight. So what we did is we used more of our 8020, cut it down so it's the same height as our floor, which is 2.5 inches. And you'll see on the 8020, it already has a hole down through the center of the beam. So all I do is put it on the drill press, enlarge that hole, so we're able to fit our bolt into the center. Then we stick it in that hole. It's the exact same height. And we just use those 2 bolt brackets that we have to bolt to the framing and bolt right straight down through to the floor, which is going to give us a very solid mounting spot. And it's going to be bolted like that, like I said, in 12 different spots on the floor, meaning that if we had any type of accident or a rollover, that frame is going to stay exactly where we just put that frame today. And we now have our framing fully secured to the floor. And we'll do that at every single spot for all 12 along the floor. And I promise you, that framing is not going anywhere, my friend. And then, when we're all done, once we have all these in place with these big holes, we'll end up spray foaming that all in, just so it doesn't collect dirt. Also help so we don't have a cold spot throughout our insulation. So now that we know that our plan works, I just have to move forward. I literally just have to start laying all this framing down through there, the exact same way I showed you everything else. And when we bring our pieces together like this, we'll use our L brackets again, and they're gonna fit in just like that, which will hold all of our framing in place in every single corner. Pretty straightforward stuff. Like I say, if you use the Meccano set or an Erector set, this is gonna be child's play, my friends. It's just fitting and forming it to the shape of your van's a floor plan. Right? Right. And there we go. She's finally complete. The first round of framing is done inside the van, and the floor plan is now set. Let me take you for a quick little tour. The first part you're going to see is right here behind the bathroom, which is this is where all our batteries are going to be, as well as our electronic components, switches, so on and so forth. Now, I'm really happy with this part because we had planned for 400 amp hours of batteries inside here, lithium batteries, and now that I've got it all laid out, we actually have the room to upgrade this to 600 amp hours of batteries if we find we need the extra battery storage once we get traveling in this van. Next, if we look towards our sliding door, you'll see our kitchen cabinetry. Now this is bolted down again with the 80/20 foot mount. And you'll see it's solid. It's not going nowhere. So it goes all the way back to where our back wall will be, and this will be full kitchen countertop space as well as cabinetry. We've also made it come across here, which gives us a little bit extra counter space, and as a bonus, a storage spot for our shoes underneath. Now I wanted to make this as long as possible, but because of our bathroom, which is next to show you, we have a cassette type toilet, and I didn't want to put a hole in the outside of our van, so it has to come out through the hallway. And with the way we have it set up now, it clears there, and it's a straight, easy exit from the sliding side door of the van. And it keeps us with the 4-season trend we've been talking about, because we don't have to have a black water tank underneath our van now. Which brings us to our bathroom. It's a place just big enough to do your business and to wash your business. Now I have not actually fixed this piece in yet, and that's because If you see the spot where the drain is in the shower pan, I need to measure underneath the van to ensure that I'm not going to hit any of these ribs when I drill through for a drain, but that's a whole nother episode. So I left that loose for the time being. In front of the shower, this is where our heating unit's going to be, and above that is where our massive fridge is going to be. And we have a little bit of room to work with, so I'm just leaving that there until we have it all sorted out. Then moving back a little bit more, you'll see we have this wall here and this wall here. This is where our lift bed is going to attach to, because this is where it turns from kitchen area into living room going onto the back. So from these walls here that I was showing you, all the way back, are all going to be couches, as well as behind me, a couch here. So it'll be like a U-shaped dinette, and there'll be a table right where I'm sitting right here. And of course, above this area where we have the kitchen sink and stove and everything, there will be some cabinets up on the roof, just for our glassware and so on and so forth. But that part, you're going to have to stick around for another video because this is way too time consuming. So that brings me to the final notes of this video, my friends. So typically at this point, I would say if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider doing so. But I need to have a conversation because we're at a point of the build where everything is very, very time consuming, and I actually have to have 2 or 3 jobs going at the same time to bring it all together and make it mesh properly, which is going to affect our weekly videos. Now I am going to do everything in my power to try and get at least 1 video per week out still, but I just can't guarantee it's going to be on a Sunday every single week. So the only recommendation I can make at this point, if you are subscribed and you are enjoying following along what we're doing, make sure you hit that notification bell, because now that we're going to be a little less consistent, YouTube might forget to tell you that we posted a video. It might come out on a Wednesday, you're expecting a Sunday, but it's something we got to do. There's no way around this, my friends. So opposed to stressing out about it and taking away the fun, which is the main reason why I started doing this in the first place with the recording, is because I enjoy it. I figured this was the correct action to take to ensure we don't stress out or take the fun out of what we're doing here. And if you are one of the ones that are going to hit that notification bell, maybe go check out our Instagram account as well. We'll have a lot more live updates on that account for now, until we can make the time to start doing our weekly Sunday videos like we have been for the past 80 weeks. So yeah, that's all I had to say to you. Other than that, this went perfectly smooth, just putting bolts in. I know there's a lot of music to this one, but really it's just putting bolts in with angle brackets and pretty repetitive stuff. But I had a lot of fun with it. It brings out your creativeness, reminds me of playing with mechanos, and yeah, that's it. Another project complete, another video in the banks, and we're moving forward, my friends. So if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider doing so. Speaking of that, we're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers all of a sudden. You see that? It's all because of you guys liking, commenting, and especially sharing. If you could share the video on your Facebook page or on one of your Facebook groups, you'd be amazed to find out who actually enjoys this kind of stuff. So if you have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you hit that notification bell for reminders, and of course we will see you on the next video. Perfect.